Hey, 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 how are you all doing out there? Are you coming in, coming in, coming in?
Do you know, I don't know why it didn't bring me in. It's kind of lagging behind
I
because I
know.
was there. What I did is unmute myself. But hey, hello, good people and naughty people
Evening,
and
evening,
all the
evening,
people.
evening, and welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of a gym time with myself, moi, Debbie, and my bigger brother.
Maurice, yes, the bigger
Yes,
brother, muscles, everything, big beard.
everything, big beard, big eyes, big nose, big lips, big
Wow,
everything.
wow, wow, you didn't go there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you okay, Paul?
yeah, I'm doing all right. I had to go for some appointments today, and then I came back and I was knackered. I came back because I had drops in my eyes as well, so I couldn't really see that well. And I sat down. I bought myself some lunch. I just said, you know what? I ain't eating nothing. I just
Mm.
felt that sleep, and I said, you know what? Okay, let me stay awake a little bit. Turn on a program I was watching. Yeah, it was watching me
He was watching
for a
you
good
after a
while.
while.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
And I was
Well,
supposed
at
to do
least you
gym today,
managed to
but
rest up.
um,
At least you managed to rest up.
yeah, and it's normally gym day as well, but I got this slight headache that's been going on for a couple of days. So instead of
Hmm.
me going high intense and do it, I don't know what that is at the moment.
Yeah,
So I check my blood pressure and all that. But I'm here. So I was
yeah,
looking forward to this, you know.
and that's the main thing. So yeah, you're going to share with the listeners what our subject matter is today.
Nah, I don't think they want to know this. Right, today is about parenting and passion. Um, that balance of being a parent, having children, yeah, and at the same time, looking to be loving and um, romantic with your partner, you know, and sometimes it doesn't work, and we're here tonight to hopefully give you strategies in having that balance of both.
Yeah, and this was a subject that you came up with, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It
What
was.
made you come up with this subject?
Do you know what? I was looking at different things and uh, topics, and it that jumped out at me.
Right.
And I think being a parent, having children, and I just want to say, having children or fostering children or adopting children, it's all the same thing as about being a parent.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to be your biological.
Absolutely.
Just children in your house that you care for, your nieces, your nephew, your little sister, whatever it is that you may have care of. You know, and then trying to have a passionate relationship with your significant other right now, with your man right now, or potential. I
Hmm.
didn't. I only. It's funny. I'm talking, and things do come to me at the same time, like now, because
Hmm.
you could have children, but you never get time to meet people.
Hmm.
A potential partner, because the children are in the way, um, in a good way, but they're in the way of um, you finding that love. But we're going to give you strategies, and
Yeah, we're
hopefully,
going to get into
you
that.
know,
So we're going to
um,
do
you
our disclaimers first. I'm going to do mine.
mm,
So we say this every single week, and the reason why we say every week is because we think that sometimes, well, let me speak for myself, that sometimes people feel underqualified or may feel as though they got imposter syndrome when it comes to certain things. Imposter syndrome is like you feeling as though you're not meant to do that thing, like you're in that space but you're not meant to be in that space. And the reason why we do this disclaimer is to let you know that we are not medical professionals. We're mentors, we're coaches, I'm a counselor, and we just have a wealth of knowledge, and not just a wealth of knowledge. We like to learn, we like to stretch ourselves, we like to go on a journey with you guys, and we don't think that we know it all. But what I,
definitely.
my slogan coming right here. I don't think I know it all, but what I do know, I will share with you. And it's really to motivate you and inspire you and help you to look at things from a different perspective. If you've been doing the same things and getting the same results, why not try something different? And so we're here to give a different perspective from my brother's view, from my view, from some of the professionals' views that we will read, people's opinions. And we just hope that there's something that will inspire you and motivate you in your life and help with your relationship. It is a relationship podcast, so we do talk about all things relationships. And yeah, I think that that's my disclaimer for now. Over to you.
Yeah, my disclaimer is knock up my neck. No, not really. But it's true. Everything what Debbie said, and at the same time, we are here to motivate and empower you, get you to look at things from a different perspective, or you may have the same perspective, but you need fine tuning, like we all.
Mm-hmm.
Where we hopefully, will give you strategies. But if you try the strategies and they don't work, remember, you're an individual. We are as well. So we're only giving you different things that you can try, but fine tune them to who you are and the way that you speak and the way that you think. But it gives you a baseline to work from. Um, yeah. So that's my disclaimer with that. If it doesn't work, don't cut my neck.
Caught we neck. So I really wanted you to start with this one.
Come and beat us up.
In it. I wanted you to start with this one, and I'm going to tag team off of the back of what you say, because I think that because it's a subject that you thought of or brought to the forefront, I think that you probably thought about it a little bit more. But not just that, I think that because my children are older as well, it makes a difference to how I can go back into the archives.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because if
I
you
can
look
go
back
back into the
to how,
archives, but there are things that I would
whether
definitely there's things that I would definitely have done differently now that I'm in this space of maturity, this age, because remember, I had all of my children, I had all 5 children by the time I was 26. So parenting in my mind is different now in so many respects. How I would have parented
because the pity them rude, they're very rude. Anyway.
No, seriously, how I would have done some things is different. Relationship wise, I probably would have done things differently there. Do you get what I'm saying? So I wanted you to share your bit, and I'm going to definitely tag team off of what you're saying.
Well, I do want you to go back into
I will do.
what it was like. The only reason why I say that, because as you said, you were young, and there might be some young people out there, teenagers that's had babies, and they're struggling. They're struggling being a young mum and trying to have a relationship. They may leave the children with friends or family, to be able to pursue their goals or their endeavors. And yeah, we can go there anyway. So I was on marriage.com. So I would encourage any of you to have a look on there, marriage.com. So this isn't my information. This is their information, the editorial team, So what they've got there is 15 tips for balancing marriage and parenting. And what I liked about this is that they kind of covered a whole lot of different things that I look at with my life as well. We've got 5 children here, age range from 10 down to 5. Oh, she's 6 now. Ooh. I'm 20 Pitney. She's 5. Yeah, she is 5. Faith is 5. And they all have different personalities. I have 5 children myself from previous relationships that are grown, and I can see the difference between having children when I was younger and married to having children now as an older man and married. From my perspective, as I'm looking back, we found the time to put the child to bed, or someone would look after the children, and we'd go out. This is um, previous relationships. This relationship, we sometimes have people, mother-in-law, that would look after these children. Prior to getting to having the children, we were able to do date nights. And then when we got married, it was sporadic, but we kept on having date nights. And I think it's and now it's we don't have date night. But what they were saying in this article was finding the time, scheduling the time in to be able to have time for ourselves as well. What I haven't gone to the article because it's kind of close to my heart, isn't it?
Absolutely.
What I think personally is that if you don't take time out for one another, you just exist. You're just living. You're just existing, not living. And so you're going through the whole day of dealing with the children, getting up in the morning, and these children, they're a handful in the morning. Trust me. Get them ready. Those that don't get themselves ready, and all these things, they bring stressful situations. And then when at the close of the day, or when you're picking them up, you're in the car and it's screaming, and the last thing that you think of, is your significant other. Like us, we're not thinking about, oh, I wonder if you want a hug, even though I'm a hugger. I wonder if we're going to be intimate tonight. I wonder if those things don't come, because what you want to do is just go, and literally it can be that. But scheduling the time in to be able to, and we need to do that. Me and my wife, we need to schedule.
Absolutely.
We're important, because if we're not here, these children still live on, while we have these memories that died with us because we allowed being a parent to take over everything. Our children are wonderful, and it's a wonderful experience. For those that have children out there, you'll know that they're headache and they're love at the same time. But you have to give your partner your time, him or her. You go to work. For those that work, you go to work, you come home, you're tired, you have your dinner, and fall asleep in front of the TV. So those days off, or the weekends, especially that it's hot now, put the children outside and have a moment inside. I mean, you watch the children, through the window, climbing up on the roof, and yeah, just go outside. It's all right. But back in the day, it was like that for us.
That's what it was like.
Yeah, we could go out and we're running up and down. Oh, God. I remember a situation when my mum and dad had an argument, and as soon as it went to kick off, we knew to excuse ourselves, not upstairs, at the house. Let big people talk. That's stairs. It doesn't involve us. You probably don't remember, but we went out. And we're out, and we're out, and we're out, and we're enjoying ourselves out there. And when we come back, arguments finish. We don't know what was said. We don't know. We didn't hear no screaming and shouting. We just
I was
heard
thinking, can you imagine parking up the child's buggy outside?
Yeah,
snowing
outside.
outside, raining.
It's saying that, right? I'm glad you said that, because I think it's very important. I read an article once, and it said that children need to see that parents fall out
Yeah,
and that they argue.
I heard
I
that.
actually, I actually don't agree with that. Yeah,
Hmm.
because some things that you can say can be quite cutting when you're upset, and you might just say it in front of the child. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think that they should see that you disagree about things, but see the resolution at the same
Hmm.
time, if that be the case.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You sure
but
that's not what
I
they were saying?
no, it was they. I mean, they didn't say, oh, the child should be in the room when you're cussing Budward. You're cussing, you're effing and jeffing and everything else, and the
Yeah.
child's sitting there. Look, but some people do. So when their child starts to swear, they think it's okay for the child. Well, no, they don't think it's okay for the child to swear. But some of those things they learnt from you. You have
Yeah.
to be careful in what you say and what you do in front of your children as well.
Hmm.
And I think, like I said, if you're having a disagreement, show the resolution, you know, and saying that going on about being the parent and to show the resolution, find that time away from the children as well to have a proper time to make up. I'm not talking about just sex, to make up to. And every show we talk about or being that we've done, this is the key thing that I think is important. And we've said it every time, the communication.
Mm.
Yeah. That you don't, some things you'll repeat, but try not to repeat those things, those same problematic situations, especially in front of children, or say them nasty things to one another. Um, and that's a whole different show as well.
Yeah.
But here it says, to make parenting and romance work, focus on the following strategies. Set boundaries and privatize time. Allocate time for romance, just as you would for parenting and work, which is true because we have to regulate those things and do the things that we need to do. So we are included as our lovers to allocate time, because we allocate time to breakfast, work, bathing,
Mm.
the children I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
let us allocate time for one another. Um, Regular dinners, game nights, or outings can help strengthen family bonds and create shared experiences,
Mm.
shared responsibility, shared responsibilities. I like this, and this is what some women. I don't know a lot of men that do this, but there may be some men, but a lot of women do this. Mhm. Instead of delegating the tasks for the children to do, like hoover their room, um, tidy up their room, make their bed. Some some women, okay, I remember someone told me that the mum does everything. You know, yes, you might be a housewife, but you don't have to do it all. Yeah, come the weekends, you take the children in the room, if it's one child or 10 children, and get them to hoover, get them to tidy up to the standard, or show them the standard of what you're looking for, because they're never going to do it just like you. You
Mm.
know, but praise them for the little that they do, so that and the more that you make it regular that they do it, it gives you time. Yeah, it gives you a time to be able to, while they, well, I say that, but someone will be upstairs messing about, and then you're
Yeah.
drawn up and say, what are you doing? Didn't I tell you to do that? But the more that they do it, the more that eventually it becomes a normality of them doing it. But don't not let them do that, because that same time that they are doing the room, whether, as I said, one child or 50 children, you get time with your significant other. Yeah, to be sitting down, whether it's a cup of tea, yeah,
True.
or if you smoke. I'm not, anyway. Yeah, whatever you're gonna do, you sit down together and you have a moment, because those moments, listen, those are treasured moments to sit and
Mm.
watch talk to one another, even if it's for half an hour, you know.
Yeah.
Um, going on to this, so yeah, discuss and divide house chores with yourself and with the children, childcare duties, or even hire help when needed to find systems that work for both partners. Embrace imperfections, like I said, unpredictable journeys. Let's go out. Let's go off the need. Let's go off the need for perfection and be willing to ask for help or let certain things slide. And I think that's a hard one, letting things slide, because we're so set in our ways that that we just want for everything done.
Mm.
Um, and I would say that there's a lot of women um, that are aiming for that. They it's not done properly, so she'll take the time out to go and fix that thing, which I can understand why, but it steals your time. You know, some people say, why put off what you can do today for tomorrow? Because I want to spend time with my lover. Yeah. Sometimes he needs to make sure that he helps. If she's bathing the children, you do the washing up and wipe down the sides, or you do the children and she's going to do downstairs, which makes things finish a lot quicker. That
For
you
sure.
have a moment. Listen, is another saying: every moment counts, and it's the truth. Every moment counts. Even if you get into bed and it's you have a prayer, you have a hug, you have a peck, you still spent a moment into, oh, that's the time that you want to talk about your day. I had a crappy day today. Oh, why is that? You know, or I'm tired, man. It was so tiring today. And it gives you, it's like shift work. When you hand over, you give them a little, you give them the breakdown of the day,
Hmm.
and I think it's important that you give each other the breakdown of the day, especially if you are at work. And it's not talking about work where you're going to go, oh, and you know what John did? John was sitting on the stool all day because, listen, she or he is going to fall asleep. Yeah. While you're talking. Um, anyway, let's go back to this. Practice empathy. Understand your your partner's needs and prioritize and make an effort to compromise. A score of 8 out of 10 in empathy and 7 out of 10 in compromise can go a long way in maintaining a healthy relationship. Create a positive environment, foster a sense of comfort and exploration for your child, allowing you to build a strong parent child relationship. Be present and engage your child and create opportunities for quality time together. I know I'm talking about children here as well, because that is your family. Um, and some of this I didn't read.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, no, I didn't read. Listen, when I tell you that there's lots of things that I read, and I have to scan and take out some of the information to know if it's a good information or not.
Right, right. Yeah.
Anybody in there? Any strategies that you want to put in the comments? I don't know how many of you are out there in Instagram land.
I can't see much. I can't see anyone on the actual screen, but there is people in there. And
Okay.
on Instagram, welcome, welcome, welcome to those of you who are joining us on Instagram as well, on Facebook, on YouTube. We really appreciate you sharing it with others so that the
Yes.
algorithms will, do its thing and other people can actually hear what we are talking about. It's you. Sharing is caring, guys. That's what I used to say to little
Yeah.
kids. Sharing is caring. So, yeah, if
So
you
I
get
was
to
talking
share,
about the togetherness.
appreciate it.
Sorry to cut
Go
you.
ahead.
I was talking about the togetherness with the children and on your own. So
Mhm.
here again, it's talking about balancing and parenting, um, balancing parenting and marriage or relationships.
Right.
Balancing marriage relationships um, requires your willingness to work on your marriage relationship, to stay lovers. And that is the key, to stay lovers. The same, I think the show we said that we had, the same effort you put in to get the person is the same effort that you should be putting in to keep the person. And if
Absolutely.
you're not putting in the effort anymore, then, and you say, "Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, darling, love you," I love you too. Do you? Yeah. What? Oh, I hear someone say, "What? Because I don't put the effort in, I don't love this person." When you was, what they use the word falling in love, when you was dating and everything else, and all these feelings, of, oh man, I can't wait
Endorphins,
to see you later on, and you,
dopamines.
yeah, and you want to ring and, yeah, how was your day, and all this talking, all this communicating. Oh, you look so good. Look at you. You've gone out on a date, and you're saying there's no one in the whole of the place as beautiful as her. There's no one as handsome as my man is in this place. Look how he looks. He looks really good. He smells good. Oh, yeah. He's 4'6" and he's love. No, not really. Yeah. Sorry, 4'6" men. I'm only playing, right? no,
Mm.
uh, you know, but you're embracing one another. You know what happened? All those arguments, unresolved issues, sleeping with your back to back, sleeping in the other room, not coming home, always drunk, smoking till drugs until you ain't got no sense, and a whole lot of other things that has fit the gap. Playing video games is taking away your time from your significant other. Sitting on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, the whole 9 yards, or sitting on Timu, what's that beginning with S? Shine,
Shin.
Shin, yeah, and all these other things. While he's drawing snores,
Preach,
you're,
preacher.
you're tapping away, yeah, hours, yeah. He wakes up and he's thinking, what's this like? What are you doing, baby? Oh, I was just I was looking about buying something. If you're honest, I was just checking something. What? It's 2 o'clock. Yeah. I was just checking.
Coming to bed now.
Yeah. No, that's in bed.
No, I mean like I'm coming to bed now. Like I'm
Yeah.
shutting
I'm
it down.
going to sleep now. Or you're sitting downstairs and you're watching something on your own. All these things steal your time from your partner.
Mm.
So you've got to reevaluate you. If you don't have the time during the day, and that's what you're doing at night,
Mm.
then what is he or she there for?
Yeah.
You've got to give it, and then you're wondering why you got problems. You're wondering why there's a division. You're wondering why you don't talk anymore. Both have to make the effort. If one's putting in the effort, the other one needs to put in the effort as well. If both of
Absolutely.
you ain't putting in effort, you both need to put effort into it. Because guess what? It's your relationship. It ain't anybody else's. It's your happiness or unhappiness. It's not anybody else's.
Mm.
It's your stress or his stress or her stress, not anyone else's. Yeah. And the only time when you're communicating is that there's some function going on and you're both dressed up, if you get to go, and you're grinning teeth.
Mm.
Hi, you're right. Yeah. You're right, baby. We ain't done this for a long time, have we? And then that's it. That event's finished. You don't do it again.
Mm.
Yeah. Till the next event. If you go to the next event, 6 months, a year, you got to love on one another, man. And I want to talk to some of you men and some of you women. You need to be instigators of love. You need to wrap your arms around your husband, your wife, and drop them kisses on them. Yeah. for no reason, just random. Some don't like smack bottoms, you to smack their bottom. So for you that don't like it, find something else. Yeah. Massage. Yeah. For you that don't like massage, sorry, I'm sorry for you.
Reflexology.
Yeah. Because it's relaxing. You know, he may need it. You can instigate that. Yeah. And next thing you know, you guys have got nookie going on. Yeah. And knocking boots, as they say, whatever, I don't say it. I know what I say, but I can't say it. Yeah. You know, you got to continue being lovers, man. Children is not the excuse to stop loving on one another. You women will go through menopause, monthly cycles, all kinds of stuff. What just came to my mind, a whole lot of stuff. You're going to go through all of that, but that doesn't, you see, I think we've done a show on that as well. Intimacy and penetration are two different things.
Mm.
They can go hand in hand, or they can work as an individual thing as well. So if you're not nookieing for whatever medical reason, whatever, it doesn't kill intimacy.
It
Yeah.
shouldn't.
Yep. It shouldn't
No.
at all.
Yeah.
Yep. It shouldn't at all kill intimacy. Yeah. And the same the other way around. If it's penetrative sex, it shouldn't kill intimacy.
Mm.
They should go hand in hand. There are some that will just take the sex and there's no intimate. You're not intimate. Yeah, you just want some, and you get what you want. Some women, some men, and that's it. And leave the person in the wilderness walking, thinking, is that all it is? Is that all I'm here for? So you still have to love one another, be lovers, while raising kids. I don't like saying kids. I like saying children, because we haven't got goats, little baby goats.
It's
Yeah,
true.
yeah. Here as well, it says, however, with the right approach, truthfulness, and trust in each other, you can easily manage marriage and parenting without having to worry about your marriage breaking apart or relationship. Marriage after kids is an overwhelming experience. This is common for many couples. It is mainly because couples tend to neglect their relationship amidst all the chaos of career, household, family, and so forth. So, how to keep a balance between marriage and parenting? Is there any solutions, really? I've given some. One, as I said earlier, it says teach your children independence. Agree on core values. I like this.
Yeah.
Love family, work, happiness. Whatever your core values are with regards to parenting, write them down. Keep those in front of you, so you always have them to come back to.
Yeah.
Let me say it again. Whatever your core values are with regards to parenting, write them down. Keep those in front of you, so you always have them to come back to. Meaning that we can deviate off the plan and
Of
we're
course.
doing everything else. But once you know what your core values are, whether you know it off the top of your head, writing it down, it centers you again, that you're able to say, I've gone off track. Hopefully, these core values will be a good baseline to help you both cover most of the basic issues with regards to parenting. This can go a long way in helping you achieve balance and harmony in your marriage while you go about parenting. Remember to raise happy children while putting your marriage first. Let me say it again. Remember to raise happy children while putting your marriage relationship, because some of you aren't married, your relationship first. Yeah, putting it first. Um, your relationship first, or putting a spouse before children, can prove pivotal in balancing marriage and parenting. What do you think about this, Deb?
So I agree with everything that you said. I just wanted to give a tip. I remember when the children's dad used to go to work, um, what I used to do was put the kids to bed early and I used to go to sleep at the same time they used to go to sleep because he used to get in after. And that used to leave me open and fresh for when he got in. And I think that you just have to think of strategies and think of things that can actually work for you. And some people might be saying, oh, but my partner, my husband partner doesn't come in until late. He comes in around about 6 o'clock and the kids are still awake. Now, what I used to do before he did do that later job where he was coming in at 10 o'clock, when the children were at school and I had the baby at home or babies at home, I used to put them down, excuse me, I used to put them down to lay down and I used to rest at the same time in the afternoon, around about 11 o'clock it normally was. I would be up from early, around about 5, 6. Um, and then I used to rest with them. And that really, really helps you because oftentimes what it is that the woman is tired. Sometimes the men are tired as well, but men are driven differently from women. So when you're tired, think of a plan, think of a strategy that's going to actually work for you so that you will be awake, that you'll be fresh, so that you're not um I'll use the word depriving then your husband of sex, intimacy, and all of that because you're tired. And don't get me wrong, you genuinely probably are tired, probably feeling as though no, you don't want to do anything because you've had a really long and busy day. However, if you plan, then you'll have you then you'll be able to have both you'll be able to have that time of intimacy. And I think that it's good if you have a village around you. When you say village, friends, family, neighbors, children's parents that go to the same school as your children, get to know them, get to go to their homes, they come to your homes. That way you can see how they live, and you'll feel more confident with your child or children going to their home. These were just things that one, I didn't my children wasn't really allowed to go to much people's houses because I just didn't allow them to do that. My house was a hub. So people were always at my house, and it was just one of
Yeah.
the houses where people always would come, they'd be fed, they'd be watered. And so my children's friends were always welcome to come over, and we had a massive garden, had all kind of toys and all manner of stuff. It was like a mini park because I ran a childcare business from there too. So I had lots of resources for the kids. So they would want to come over, massive trampoline and slide and everything. So, I'm saying that because it's important for you to have people around you so that you will be able to have that quality time with your spouse. But let me give you another tip. So before we was able to financially go out and have those amazing dinners and go on holidays and stuff like that, what we used to do is have date night at home. So we would put the kids to bed and we would order in some Chinese or something. We would put on some music. We would sometimes get a board game out or some cards or something, and we would have date night at home. It's that simple. You get up, you dance. Me and my husband would do sound clash. We we are playing you play one tune, I play one next tune, then before you know it, you're dancing. But these are things that you can do. But something that you said, it's important for your partner to be your lover, but most importantly, it's important for them to be your friend, because
Mm.
when they're your friend, then you want to spend time with that person, you want to chill with them, you want to do things with them. And friendships are hard to come by, but having your spouse as your friend is amazing, because you both are able to interact with each other on such a level that even if you don't have a date night, but you're chilling, you're in the same room, you know, it feels good. You know, like I said, my children are older now, but it doesn't mean that it's not important to still continue having date nights, you know, and doing things that are going to enhance the relationship. But specifically, in order to make sure that there is that passion in the relationship, you have to be inventive. You have to come up with ideas, things that are going to work for you as a couple. You know, you can put that poem, that note underneath the pillow. You know, you can, you know, wear some sexy underwear, and that goes both ways, men and women. Do you get what I mean? You can do all of these things in order to keep the passion going in your relationship. It's not always going to be about having sex. It's not always going to be that. But if the passion's there, if the friendship is there, then you're on to a winner. And a lot of people, I've heard it being said, we just don't have the money to go out and do stuff. Think about things that you do. Like I remember one Valentine's, what I did, I got this little heart box from, must be in the Poundland. It's got like glitter on it, red box shaped as a heart. And what I did, I went online and found lots of questions, and I printed them out, cut them up into pieces and put them in the box. And then what we did after we had dinner, we was taking out each strip of paper with a question on there, and asking each other the questions. And we was there for hours. I think we was there for probably like 3 hours, because we was asking the questions, it led to conversations about the questions, and like, why do you think like that? What is, you know, just it just opened up, you know, the conversation about various different things. So I'm just trying to give you guys some tips on how to be a little bit more inventive. I wanted to read this. Um, the other week we was talking about leave and cleave, husbands leaving their mother and father and cleaving to their wife. And this says, prioritize your relationship. Maintaining a strong marriage is essential for a healthy family. Because if your relationship is strong, then the relationships that you have with your children and your children have with each other should be strong. Not all the time, but it should be, because they're you're being their role model. They're mimicking your behavior. Yeah. So take time to nurture your relationship. And I wanted to read the description in the scripture. It's in Ephesians 5:25. It says, husbands, love your wife just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. There are many others. I've got a few other scriptures as well, but I wanted to share that one because I think that sometimes what happens for a woman, you know, I can speak as a woman because I am one. If you don't feel as though that man is loving you on the level that you want to be loved on, there's just this innate thing within women that they start to step back. They just literally start to step back, and what they're doing is that the love that you should be giving them, they're getting that from the children. And so what actually happens is the children is that substitute for you. And sometimes men will have that conversation with their wives and say, oh, you're loving the children more than you're loving me. You know, it's all about the children. It's all about the children. How about you turning that on its head and thinking about, how can I love her more so that she's going to be paying me that much more attention? Because that's what happens. That's
Can I interject?
well,
You see, saying that, I hear what you're saying. This is where this is how Debbie and I started all this
not
in the first
so.
place in these
So, like I
debates.
said,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I agree. I agree
go
from
on.
the perspective that husbands love your wives even as Christ loved the church. But I see it that even in her maybe neglect or weaknesses or whatever it is, you are supposed to still love on her, because that means that you're forgiving her, which is sometimes hard to do for a man, because we hurt too. And it's about, for speaking as a man, that we must heal and stop focusing on what we see in front of us, but what we know, what we should do. Yeah. So, for instance, a woman can look at that. You don't do anything. All you do, come home, eat, sleep, and you're out. And she'll focus on that and think, you don't, like you said, that can be that she puts the love and everything onto the children. We're going to go back to the same thing. It's about communication, because if she's feeling like that, men aren't mind readers. We need to know if you think that we're not loving you in the way that you want to be loved, because people love differently, or what they've seen as what they deem as love. Some people are abusive. Yeah. And at the same time, where they're abusing you, they'll tell you that I love you. Yeah. Because it can be a learnt behavior, or that's how they've come to know what love is. If a man's hitting me, then he means he loves me. I've read articles like that he loves me, because if he wasn't like that, then I don't know what I do. It just means that I mean more to him. So it is about us loving you, yes, as men, but for women to communicate the feeling of not feeling the love. And we need to hear as men, not feeling protected, not feeling secure, because we can say, oh, I need to love her more in this way, and that we're loving her more in that way, when she wants to be loved more in that way. And when it comes out as an argument, well, you didn't say anything, you didn't ask. Well, and that's where it falls short. We need to know, as men, we need to know what it is that you feel as women that we're missing.
So how about, because it works both ways, yeah?
It does.
So remember, we was talking about the husband being the head of the wife, God being the head of the house, yeah? So how about if a woman feels neglected, feels as though she's not being loved in the way that she needs to be loved, and the man notices that there is no date night, there is no intimacy, there is no sex, there is all these things are dwindling. And remember, bearing in mind, if this is a mother that's just had a child, these things can happen naturally as the hormones and so forth change in the body. And that's another topic, because there are some men that are very insensitive to the fact that there are changes in your body, and they say it takes at least a year and a half for your body to go back, but yet still, you can be 6 weeks and the man wants sex and your body doesn't even feel ready. But how about as the man being the head of the wife, that he also asks, because he's feeling neglected, because this is what happens. And I've heard so many stories from couples, that I've even spoken to. The man will say, yeah, but she's not doing this, and the woman will say, yeah, because of this. And all it is the backwards and the to and the throwing, instead of saying, okay, what do you need me to do? So if the woman if the woman is not communicating that, then you have the responsibility to say, what can I do? How can I help? How can I bring a change here? You can't just turn around and say, oh, well, if she needs something different, then she's meant to just come and just tell me.
But what I'm saying,
I'm not just saying that. The man also has to take the initiative. If the woman isn't saying it, the man needs to ask it. If the man isn't saying it, the woman needs to ask it.
What happens if a man does ask repeatedly? She says this and he does that, and then that doesn't bring a change. So he asks again, and then she says something else.
That's just moving. That's just moving the goalpost. That tells me. That tells me that that's not that what she is saying.
The underlying issue
isn't the issue. There's other deeper rooted issues.
But there are men like that.
In order to say something she's, in order to say something, she's saying that, which might seem like an obvious thing. And again, bear in mind, when I do counseling with people, some people do not know what the problem actually is. They don't. They assume that this is the problem. And then when that problem is fixed, like what you're saying, they realize that that wasn't it. And sometimes it's because they're looking for their spouse to fill a void that no one can fill apart from God, or that person has to do significant work within themselves to actually start loving themselves and stop expecting that person to be everything to them, because they're not going to do that. Do you get what I
That's
mean?
right.
And so,
I like that. I like that.
so ultimately, what you're dealing with is a couple who potentially, I would say, want the same thing. They want to spend time with each other. They want to love on each other. Nobody's going to get married or be in a long-term relationship and they don't want that person. So they want the same thing. It's how they're going about getting it. And the blame game is absolutely real. Well, she ain't telling me what she wants. Well, he ain't asking me what I want. Somebody needs to say, do you know what? Enough is enough. I'm going to be the person that is actually going to do that. And it's normally the person that is spiritually, or not just spiritually, but emotionally mature, that will say, I'm no longer going to be having an expectation. I'm going to ask the question. I'm not going to expect you to just do this. And remember, not everybody is going to be able to realize that this is the problem that is causing us not to be intimate. Because people make excuses. Let me tell you something. Anybody saying, man or woman, saying it's because the children, why we don't have date nights, is making an excuse. 100%. Because I just explained, you do not need to exit your house to have a date night.
Have a date night.
You
See,
do not
the
need
other
you
thing,
do not
the
need
other
to
thing
have a whole
is,
heap of money to have a date night. You do not need those things. You need to be
and
intentional and want to spend time with that person. That's what you need
see
to do.
what you said there is key. And I think that the thing what I think some people miss, because we're saying date night, it's not just during the night,
Yeah,
that you have,
yeah, a date.
because we're saying date night doesn't mean date day. You can't have date
Go to
day.
lunch.
Yeah. You It's the same thing of having sex.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't just set for nighttime.
I know.
If we done a poll, there'd be quite a lot of people that says, yeah, we at night. Yeah, at night.
Yeah, most people.
It's not a night thing. It's not a day or night thing. It's any
Mm-hmm.
time you
Anytime,
can
any
you
place,
can fit
anywhere.
it in there. See, if the children are at school, you got time. Catherine and I, we have breakfast. We go to a particular restaurant that's amazing, just
Mm-hmm.
really good. And we sit, have breakfast, talk, look for our day, and then and it was something that Catherine said that she noticed that we didn't do it. We haven't done it. We were doing it, but as she said, is that we need to do it once a week.
Right.
We've had appointments. We've gone to the hospital, and all different
Yeah,
things
that's
happening.
different though.
And
That's
that's
different.
different. Yeah, and so it slipped down, and we've
Yeah.
been dealing with these things. The children are going to go to a new school, all these things, but we're still doing it together.
Mm-hmm.
We're still going down to the school, and we're still together doing it. It's not just for uh, Catherine to do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
I go and meet the teachers. We're talking. Matter of fact, when we went there, I thought we were going to separate and go off two different ways, but
Mm-hmm.
we all stay together. But it's if you got time during the day because the children are at school,
Mm-hmm.
that's your time.
That's your time. That's
Schedule that
that's
time.
what I'm
Well,
talking about.
yeah,
Whatever works for you, you find the strategy, you find the time, you be intentional, and then it's going to happen. It
it's
doesn't matter
gonna
if it's morning, noon, or night. Yeah, doesn't matter if it's indoors, outdoors. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Just
happen.
make the
That,
time to
you're
keep
doing
that
it.
passion going in the
Yep.
relationship, keep the intimacy going in the relationship, keep the friendship going in the relationship, and stop blaming the fact that you've got children, because
Do you
it's
know? Do you
not
know one?
it's
one of the things,
not going to you can't use that consistently. I had
you know,
5 children and I
yep.
was still able to do that. And for most part, financially, we was on our face for a very long time. Do you get what I mean? So, so
Do you know one of the things, listening or talking about this, we need as couples to get rid of all that took place in the past. Because if it's something that's constantly coming up, it's unresolved. You need to resolve those things once and for all.
yeah, but do you know that
You know,
there's some issues that are unresolvable?
like
There are some issues
when you
that
say that, like,
there are some issues that are unresolvable, and this is where commitment comes in, where you're not always going to resolve every single situation that comes up. And so what you need to learn is to live with that person, live with that flaw, live with that weakness. This is not something that's going to be resolvable. I shared it the other week. I
that's
shared
what
it
I
the other
mean by something you got to just leave. Just it's got to go. You don't focus on it. What you focus on, um, if it's an issue, if you're focused on it, it will get bigger. If that's all you're
Absolutely.
looking at, if that's all
Absolutely.
that you're looking at, that you're looking at that, you're looking at
Hmm.
that, you're looking at that, and that's all you're blinking, then
Hmm.
you're missing the
Yeah,
goodness and of in what you can get out of your relationship. Because when you say
absolutely.
unresolvable, I understand what
Unresolvable. So
yeah, I understand what you mean when you say
yeah,
that. Because I was going to
that's why
say,
they keep
I
that's
was
why
going
it
to,
keeps on going round and round and round and round and round, and you're coming back to the same thing. Whereas what you need to do is find a strategy, find a plan on how you guys are going to live and work through that. Because when you see that something keeps on coming up, and I've learnt this, I've had to step back, look at it, reevaluate, and think that was an unresolved issue. That was not something that was going to be resolved at all. And literally say, okay, this is what it is. How am I gonna manage this emotionally, mentally? How am I gonna manage this situation when it comes up again and again and again? And literally, I've had to learn how to look at a situation and not, when I say don't allow it to bother me, I'm not trying to put a band-aid on it. I'm trying
mm, mm,
to,
mm, mm,
or what I had to do was, let me think of the word. I I had to consolidate that this was not going to be a resolvable issue and how I was going to navigate through that. So I had to let go of pride. I had to let go of ego. I had to let go of that and say, this is not something that is going to be resolvable, but I'm going to be able to navigate through it. Because the reality is, if somebody is saying or doing something that is impacting upon you, it's how you choose to allow that thing to impact you. Do you get what I mean? Because that person might not ever change in that way, may never ever change. And does that mean that you shouldn't or can't be with that person? No, you have to adjust how you respond to that thing. And when you adjust to how you respond to that thing, then there's harmony in your home. Don't see it like, oh, that person won. Don't see it like that, because
yeah,
you're a
yeah,
team. I don't
yeah,
want that person to win.
exactly,
I don't want that person to
exactly.
win. Do you get what I mean? If I bow down, then that person's going to walk all over me and blah, blah, blah. You're a team. You're a team. So if they're winning, you're winning. If there's
There you
argument,
go.
then you're both losing. Do you get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But if you love that person, you want to look at issues and look at them from a perspective of that, that is something that just keeps on coming up. It's not being resolved. How are we going to manage this then? And sometimes it's not the two of you that's looking at it, how we going to manage it. It's just one person that says, you know what, I'm going to manage this differently, because
Hmm.
this is what I want, this relationship, and I want there to be passion, I want there to be intimacy, and I don't want to make excuses, I don't want to hold on to things that are going to make me bitter and angry and resentful. So you make a conscious decision on how you're going to do that. And parenting in and of itself is a whole challenge. Parenting, looking after your children, nurturing them, giving them wisdom, dealing with their issues and their challenges is a whole saga in and of itself. And then you
It,
have to look at how you're parenting and look at how you are being a partner to this person, and you have to make it work. You know, if you're doing stuff and you're not getting no results, if things are really messed up and challenging and so forth, look at what you're doing and look at how you can change and tweak
mhm.
things. You know, what was you going to say? Sorry.
No, I was going to say,
Quiet,
I was
you're
looking at,
quiet in the chat. Do you know, I was
yeah.
somewhere on Saturday and this person came up to me and they said to me, what did they say? They said something like, when is your next podcast? And I was like, oh, on Tuesday. And they said, yeah, I already knew that, really. I was just saying. And they said,
Well,
I'm one of the silent listeners. So hi,
ah,
silent listeners out
yeah,
there.
I was going to just say that,
Hi,
hello.
silent listeners.
It'd be nice for you guys to interact and come in on the
Yeah,
chat.
there's
Um,
no questions
it's,
in
there's
there.
nothing at all.
No
You know
questions
what?
in there. I know what you are doing. You're sitting down eating your popcorn and just or eating your nuts.
You know, we were talking about, I said it earlier about don't fight in front of the children,
Yeah.
and this is on that list as well. I just wanted to, and I'm going to just go through them. I'm not going to read all of them, but I'll read the titles. And again, it's on marriage.com. Um,
Hmm.
and if you go on there and you look for, there's 15 tips for
Right.
balancing marriage and parenting. Yeah.
Hmm. That's
So
good.
you have a look
What
at
is
that.
it
That's
called?
on marriage.com.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was just looking here and it was talking about um, not to fight in front of the children. Yeah. Oh no, yeah. Don't fight in front of the children. And then this scenario that they use, I'll read it. It's really hard not to disagree on parenting decisions when you're in the moment with your children, right there. But you need to make it priority. Maybe your 9-year-old son is very impulsive. It drives dad crazy and he wants to yell and punish him by taking away a privilege. But mum is more patient and thinks a less strict punishment is in order. Instead of talking about it in front of your son, excuse yourself for a few moments, talk it out away from your son, come to an agreement, and then discuss it with your son. This will help you work out your differences and also be more consistent um, as a parenting team for your son. And it's really true, you know, because that way there's a, like I said earlier on, you don't do it in front of the children. Don't correct each other in front of the children because
Yeah.
that's going to cause division with you both, and your son's going to see that, or your children are going to see this. Children play off mum and dad anyway. They know
Absolutely.
dad is softer or mum is softer, and they play on that, you know. But if you're both like here, I think it was this morning actually, or was it yesterday? One of the children asked me for something, and I said, no, it's not going to be. No, no, you can't. Sorry. Anyway, a little while later, they said to Catherine,
See them skipping
"Can
past with
I?
the
Can
ice
I?
lolly.
Yeah, can I? Whatever it was." And I happened to be there, and I said, "You really come and ask Mama when I've said no?" So, as Catherine, they call her Mama, said, "Did Granddad say this to you? You can't come and ask me if you know that Granddad said no." And vice versa. If I said no, Granddad's not
Abandoned.
going to say. And we work like that, you know. We don't always get it right,
Hmm.
but mostly we get it right, you know. So anyway, negotiate and give up a little. If you are opposites in your parenting styles, then you both need to give up a little of your personal ideas so you can be on the same page. Create a schedule that works for everyone. I'm just going through the list. The link is in the chat if you
Yeah.
want to. Yeah. Be a team. Debbie said it earlier
Absolutely.
on about a team. You
Yeah.
are a team. It's not.
It's not winners and losers.
individual. No, it's not. If you find that you're in competition with your um husband or wife, him or her, then you shouldn't be in a relationship. Fact. I don't care what anyone says. If you feel you have to be in competition to be the better one, or better in any way, more money or whatever else it is, you need to be single. Yeah, because marriage, that union of being in a long-term relationship as well, it's like a business. I said it the other day to someone. What you put in is what you're going to get out. If you're just taking, look out, there might be bankruptcy. You might get bankrupt. Yeah? So you got to make sure that you're both putting in,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't matter how much the person is giving in, as long as they're putting in as well. There's got to be effort both sides. Yeah, you might be 80% and they might be 100. Yeah, you might be 20% and they might be 40, but you're both putting in at the same time. Anyway, that I just use that as a small analogy.
Yeah.
Be a team. Communicate. I remember I said that at someone's wedding. Funny enough, I said it just like that. Communicate.
People always say that at weddings, and then when people get married, they forget what was said anyway.
Prioritize yourself and each other. Yeah. Make sure that you take time out together. Some of you may be going through or been through some situations that are just really devastating. Bad things have happened in the relationship. They're unresolved issues. Prioritize yourself and take time to try to find that spark again, because it's there. You just have to ignite it. Yeah, it might be that one of you need to, as Debbie said earlier on, put on sexy underwear. Yeah, run around the house naked. Yeah, jump out on your partner. Find fun again, something to laugh about. But make sure you prioritize yourself and each other. Yeah, look after yourself. You have to look after yourself. Yeah, if it's Pilates or a jog around the park, or like Catherine likes to go on the buses. Before I used to have an issue with it. What about me? I'm here on my own. Well, flipping find something else to do yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand it now, but at the time, selfish. Yeah. Want your attention, want it all. No. You want to get on a bus? Get on a bus and do what you're doing. Because for a man, you have to understand that a woman knows that she still has those things to do. So if she knows that she's got to get back for the children, or she needs to, she's going to cook or whatever else, she already has that in mind. She's taken that into consideration already, but she needs a moment for herself to just clear her mind and find focus. There's 5 more after this. I want to term this a little bit different.
Read the titles of them.
No, I am, but I don't like play with your kid. Play with your kids. You can't say those things anymore, because we live in a world where people's minds are just off. But find time, sharing time with the children, whether it's a board game, in the same way, in the same manner that you're going to do it with each other.
I was going to say the same thing.
Find time with your children to play game.
Can I just interject this? Can I just interject this? So what is important, and this is why this is why relationships flourish. Not only do you date your spouse, you date your children also. You take them on individual dates, so you get to know them. You get to build that intimate relationship with them, where there is respect, where there is trust, and you take them on dates. I used to take my kids on dates all the time. Do you know what I mean? It just don't look like dates. They say, come shopping with mum. Do you get what I mean? And then
Mm.
after we did all of the shopping, I would take them to McDonald's, or we would go somewhere, do you know what I mean, where they liked Burger King or something like that. But I
MP.
always did that with my kids. And one of my friends said the other day, you know, she took her son for brunch, and she said, I learned that from you, from when you had the kids and they was growing up. And I still take my kids now. I take my grandkids now. Do you get what I mean?
Well, look,
Because dating, when you're talking about dating, it's not like in the way that, oh, you know, you're just trying to, you know, like how the world says it, you know, you're trying to get that person, you're trying to put the best out there, you're trying, it's trying to understand that person, building intimacy, building trust, building respect, you know, sharing each other's values, knowing who that person is, you know. It's a beautiful thing to do when you take out time to get to know somebody, you know. And you will see, if you're doing that in your relationships, you know, husband, wives, spouses, if you're doing it then, you're doing it with your children, it really enriches you, it enriches them also, and it builds a stronger bond in the family, you know. So I wanted to
absolutely.
interject,
Yeah, no, no, no. That's a good point. I was going to say that it's while you was talking, I was saying to myself, because I know I do that with my children. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I have and you can testify that I have a good bond. I don't even know. It's beyond that. You know, I have a wonderful relationship with my children. Um, those that yeah. Anyway, that's a whole different subject. I was going to say that you, as mums and dads, you also individually need to spend time with mums with the girls if you got girls, dads with the boys, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
We as sons, and I see it in my, we are the role model for them
That's right.
on how to be, you know. And for our daughters, as men, we're role models for them on
Mm.
the type of men that they could possibly choose. You know, if you don't have a dad in your life, hopefully, mums, if you got a good relationship with your brothers, uncles, or whatever else, get
Utilize
your
them.
sons to spend time with them and the
Mhm.
girls as well,
Utilize them.
especially if he's romantic and he's loving,
Mhm.
you know,
That's
to
the
his wife,
village.
or to his team. You allow him to teach them and show them how men are and should be. You know, we're not all perfect. No, we're not. You know, but those key things that we can see in those men around us, those role model men and strong men, let your children around those type of men. Don't just bring, and I encourage you women who have children and
Mm-hmm.
you're looking for a man. Yeah. Make sure you're looking for a man. You're not looking for a boy. Yeah. A boy, all he wants is you, and and all, it's all about you, but
Mm.
you come with as a package.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How he is towards you is how he should be talking to your children and giving encouraging them in life, and to achieve and to tidy up their room and to make their beds and make things easier for you. He needs to be talking on that kind of level. Yeah.
Yeah.
A boy won't talk about things. He could be 50, but he might not be talking about those things. All he's interested in is you, getting you into bed, having sex with you, you know, and date you, take you out, and everything, but you come as a package. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just read these and I'll finish up with this. Don't feel guilty about taking time out for yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Work on it every day. I'll read a little bit of that. Find the balance between parenthood and your marriage, and your marriage won't happen overnight. Nothing's worth putting in the effort. Am I reading that right? Finding the balance between parenthood and your marriage won't happen overnight. Nothing worth putting in the effort ever does.
Mm-hmm.
Take the time to practice and find your balance.
Mm.
Eat together. You said it earlier on.
Yeah.
Very true. finding time to eat together. Yeah. And remember, the link is in there. It's marriage.com. There's a lot of good advice on there as well
Hmm.
about a whole lot of different things.
Yeah,
Build rituals, and ritualistic things are the patterns of
absolutely.
things
Yeah,
that you do as a family all the time.
as a,
You
as a
know,
family and a couple,
yeah, and
you
it's
know,
definitely about that you see eating together. If you
that's
only if
yeah.
you only got a small place, yeah, like we used to all just be in the same room eating at the same time.
Yeah, but eating together without your mobile phones on, without your
Yeah,
TV on,
we done that as
without
well.
it
Switch
sitting
off
on
the
your lap.
TV. Yeah,
If you don't have a table and just spread a sheet on the floor and
on the floor.
sit around and have like a little picnic inside of the home. Some of the things that I've did with my kids and with my husband and just things that I've done, it for me it was a game changer. And you know what it is as well, Paul? I think that people compare too much. They look at all this glossy thing where
Yeah,
anniversary, you're in Timbuktu. Do you get what I mean? With one long train from here to
yeah.
Jericho, you know, and it's like, oh, in order for me to have that date night, you know, he needs to have balloons there, and he needs to have like we need to go to a really expensive restaurant, and
Mm.
we need to forget all of that. Forget all of that.
Or
Kick
he's
off your
thinking he's got to
shoes.
do those
Kick,
things.
kick off your shoes. Spread a blanket on the floor. Do something different. Do you get what I mean? Like, you don't need much. You do not need much. I know that growing up we didn't have much. I know when I had my kids, didn't have much. But the things that we used to do as a family, people even now, like my people, like I said, someone said to me just even last week, I got this from you, because in my mind there was nothing that was going to stop me from spending time with my kids and their dad. Do you
You
get
know
what I
what it
mean?
reminds me?
But
You used to be was it quick save and no frills?
no frills, quick
No
save,
frill. Listen,
no
listen.
frills. Do you
Let
get
me
what I
tell you
mean?
something, right?
Pilchards
Let me
and
tell you
rice,
something about
corned
my
beef and
sister.
rice.
Yeah,
And that ain't
she
that
used
ain't
to
bad
she
to
used to
anybody
buy.
who still eats pilchards and rice and
Yeah,
corned beef and rice. But I'm saying
yeah.
that was our staple. Do you get what I mean? We didn't have
Debbie used to
choices.
she used to go and buy no frill foods.
No
Yeah, and there
frills.
was nothing wrong with it. Yeah, it just said no frills,
No
meaning that
frills. That's
it
true.
wasn't Heinz, but it could have been. You just don't know what it was. But
It wasn't
people would
Heinz.
come to
It
her,
was
as she
not
said it
Heinz.
earlier, and eat. She used to just listen.
When I used
Yeah,
to cook up them
that's what
no frill
when
food,
you hardly
you
got
know it was
anything.
no frills.
Yeah,
I said when I used to cook up them no frill foods, you never know it was no
you never
frill.
know. It's
Because when I used to
exactly.
season up them beans, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
This is the thing, but when you then come into a place of plenty, it makes you appreciate what you have because you
Absolutely.
remember where you're coming from.
Absolutely.
Never forget where you're coming from. You know,
Absolutely.
you none of us are the perfect parents, and none
Hmm.
of us are the perfect partner. But together, we can build to make it the
Absolutely.
best that it is. On conclusion, here, and I read this. It said there will always be rough times in a relationship, stroke marriage, but with the right approach, you can balance parenting and marriage relationships with ease. This is not this will not only help you strengthen your relationship with your spouse, but also help build a strong, respectful, I love this, relationship with your children, who in turn will grow up to become responsible in their relationship. They should grow up in that way because they may choose different friends. But if you keep core values in your house,
Hmm.
generally it flows over into their lives as well, that it becomes a core issue because you've done these things repeatedly, the ritualistic things,
Yeah.
like after when you finish eating, you put your plate in the sink. Yeah. Some people don't do it.
No,
They
scrape the
sit
food
down.
out into the
Yeah.
waste and
Yep.
put your plate in
Yep.
the
Yeah.
sink.
Yeah. That too. Yep.
Hmm.
Some just leave it on the table and they get up and they're
Hmm.
gone. Not do what they're supposed to do, scrape in the sink. And those that need to be washing up, they don't. After a while, you shouldn't have to. I mean, they're children. You shouldn't have to. They get
Oh,
into the routine.
froze for a minute there.
Get into the routine. Get into the routine of doing those things that you've shown them as well. And shown them what to do and shown them how you are in a relationship. Men, don't just come home and sit back and your sons sit back and watch you sit back and watch the woman running up and down. He'll grow expecting that. Yeah. That woman is supposed to be running around for him. We don't live in that society now where ideally it would be good that every man goes out to work and every woman is a housewife, and that she takes care of the home, because she's a nurturer, at heart, and we're workers at heart. Ideally, we'd like that. Sometimes you're not in a relationship, so you need to do things, learn to do things yourself, Mr. Man. And like I said, if you're going into a relationship with a woman with children, you need to have these core values as well, of showing these young men how to be real men. Not just sitting back, smoking, playing game, drinking, raving, and no. I'm not knocking anybody who's doing that. But there's more to life than smoking. There's more to life than raving. There's more to life than playing games. There is that union of a family that you may be stepping into, that you may have fruitfulness, and I'll say this: without God in your relationship, it can be very empty, because you're still looking for something. She's still looking for something. They say, there's a saying, the family that prays together
stays together. This is what I'm going to actually, that's how I was going to close, actually. I was going to, you finish up and then I'll.
No, that is it. That was my finisher.
Okay, that was you finishing. Oh, okay.
Straight in the mouth.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Yes, I wanted to say this. Praying together strengthens your spiritual connection and help you to seek guidance and support from God. So, we say a 3-strand knot is not easily broken, cord is not easily broken, because it's you, your husband, and God is in the middle, or your spouse, your spouse, and God is in the middle of it. Matthew 18, verse 19 to 20, the NIV version says, "Again, truly I tell you that if 2 of you on earth agree about anything they ask for, it will be done. It will be done for them by my Father in heaven. For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there I am with them." So it's the NIV, and I'm used to speaking it from the King James. So
2 or 3 are gathered, there I am in the midst.
So I was like stumbling on my words a little bit. So let me read that again. It's Matthew 18, verse 19 to 20. "Again, truly I tell you that if 2 of you on earth agree about anything they ask for, it will be done by my Father in heaven. For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them." And on this bit, because it's information that I've gathered from before. Set aside time each day to pray together as a couple. You should be praying as a family together. You should be praying, getting your children involved in blessing their food. It's just a spiritual connection that you need to have, and your children need to have, so that you all are coming into alignment and in agreement that this is how we operate in our homes. And prayer is a good thing to have in your home, that your children, your spouse, yourself, that you're all coming in agreement. And the thing is, what is beautiful, is when you've got your family, you've left your mum and your dad, they've got their rules, they've got their regulations and everything, and you take a bit from them, a bit from your uncle, a bit from society, a bit from here, Bible, everything, you bring it together, and you've created a whole culture for your family. where this is your kingdom, and this is how you're going to operate in this kingdom. And it's beautiful when you can see that your children are involved, you're praying together, you're eating together, you're bonding as a family. But you have that spouse, that significant other, that you say, do you know what, you're my guy, I'm your girl, I just want to spend time with you. I saw this thing recently. It was a marriage couple, a marriage event. And what it was, they said, they called up a family. So it was a husband and a wife and the two children. It was a whole conference, and it's beautiful if you can take your family to relationship conferences. And they said, oh, come up. And what they did, they came up, and it had a husband and wife who was doing the conference, and then there was a husband and wife and two children. And when they came up, now the husband stood on the right and the wife stood on the left and the children stood in the middle. And the man who was hosting the conference, he said, I could not make this up. He said, thank you, Lord, for doing this, because I think that it is brilliant how this has worked out. And he said that before that thing, even before he called them up, he already envisioned what was going to actually happen. And what it was that he said, this is what the problem is. You got the dad over here, you got the mum over here, and you got the children in the middle. But before the children even existed, you two was together. So he said, I'm going to shift this around. And what he did, he put one child on on the outside. Well, he put the two children on the outside and pushed the couples together. And he said, you can either have it like this, or you can put the two children on one side. Whatever way you're going to do it, you two must remain together. Because what is going to happen, before they came, you were together, and they are going to leave, and you still need to remain together. So he
That's
said, do
right.
not put the children in the middle of your relationship. Always be together, and your children are on the outside. Do you get what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I thought that it
Yeah,
was a good analogy, because a lot of
that is a very good
parents
analogy.
actually do that. They put the children first, where they're still meant to put their spouse first. You're meant to put your spouse first. Your children are on loan to you.
Mm.
Your children are on loan to you. Your husband and wife is not on loan to you. God says, who he has joined together, let no one separate. He doesn't say that with your children. He doesn't
Well,
say that.
he says they will leave,
They will leave.
yeah,
They will leave
and cleave too.
and
So
cleave to somebody
yeah,
else.
yeah,
Do you get what I mean?
exactly.
And then when you and that person, your significant other, you haven't had no relationship, because what you've done, you've allowed the children to come and sit right in the middle of the relationship. You've bonded more with the children than what you have with your spouse. When they're ready to get up and go about their business, you
There's,
and your spouse
there's
don't have
nothing that you can
nothing
do
in
either.
common, nothing. You don't know the person from Adam. Do you get what I mean? So the Bible never speaks about you becoming one with your children. You were a shepherd. You are the one that is
Teach
meant
them
to
the way
be
they should
meant,
grow.
you're meant to be shepherding them. You're meant to be mentoring them. You're meant to be teaching them. You are
Mm.
stewards of those children. Then they're not going to be with you forever. They're not. Do you know what I mean? That's why if a man is in his a mum's house and he's 40 years old, that's why it seems really strange, because it's like, why are you still in your parents' house?
Unless
You should
she's
have.
ill, or you're
Yeah,
there
you
for
get what I mean? But
support. Yeah.
typically you should have left by now. Do you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So I just really wanted to wrap it up with that. I really wanted to bring in the element of praying together as a family and keeping God in the center of it. And I think it's important that, these conversations are had in the household. How are we going to parent these children and still remain spicy and hot and sexy in all of this? Do you get what I mean? How are we going to do that? Have the conversation. Don't shy away from it. If you've got children, this is your reality, so embrace it. Think of strategies and ways that work for you as a family, and just literally work it. That's what I would encourage you to do.
I was gonna just jump back to something you said about prayer. Um, when you hear these 5 years old, 10-year old, 7, 8, year old, 6-year-olds praying. When I hear the girls praying, here the 5 and 6-year-old. When I hear the boys 7 and 8 and 10, they're praying. There's nothing like it. Because how did they learn about this? How do they give thanks? We say it all
Frozen.
the time to them. Sometimes, I did though. Uh, it's ritualistic in our house, if you want to say like that. We just stuff food down and that's it. Bit, pop, yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's no thank you, and there's a child out there, there's a family out there, there's a baby that has no milk. And we can't say, some people say, well, I'm not a believer, and I'm not, I believe something's out there. Well, give thanks to there's something out there, that you've got food on your table,
Absolutely.
you got a roof over your head,
Mm-hmm.
don't be boastful. Well, thank God I got a roof over my head. Thank God I've got food on my table. But humbly, by having a humble heart, it helps you. It helps you actually in everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes you humble yourself as a husband, as a wife, and as children. We have to humble ourselves, to someone else. Pride will kill you.
Yeah.
Pride, too much pride. But there was this one more thing that I wanted to say. You said something, and then I wanted to cover that.
You need to write it down, bro.
Yeah. I thought I'd
Write
better
this
to
stuff
say it,
down.
But
anyway,
we're finished up. Finished. Gone.
finished,
Get
done,
out of here.
finito, done.
Thank you so much, everybody who's joined us and listened in. I think,
Listen to the
and
replay.
hopefully this will help with strategies on helping you two to spend time together and with the children. Have some fun.
Yeah.
Summer's coming. It's a good time to plan different things to do, and then keep it as a ritualistic thing that you do
Routine.
together.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
thank you very much. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Sonia.
So
Don't know what else is in
thank you
the
so
chat.
much for joining us. And we just think that
Keeping it simple.
keeping it keep it simple. The
Yeah.
things that we're sharing, we really want you to just make it your own, tailor make it to yourselves, and see how it blesses you. So thank you guys for sharing in the chat. Thank you. I know we wasn't really talking much in the chat, but they're saying bye and thank you and stuff in the chat there. But I want you guys to be able to share this with your friends and family. We really appreciate you doing that on a week to week basis so that we get more and more people on. Some weeks it's got quite a few people, some weeks it's not so much, but we want to try and build up our following so that we can, monetize it and then eventually do an event. So,
And I just want to say thank you for the new Instagram and TikTok followers. There was I think it was 600 and something views of my post on there. So you guys that have joined us from over there that are silent,
TikTok.
this is for you guys. Yeah. This is not, as I said, and I'm going to end with this, that this isn't just Debbie and mine show. It's not ours. It's all of ours. Yeah. If you have a subject matter that you want to cover, please send us a note. Let us know.
Put it in the chat, DM us.
Whichever way you want to get in contact with us, we will talk about the subject that you want. We also have guests, so if you want to be, if you're courageous, you can be a guest on here on video, like us here on our platform, and talk about whatever subject that you feel to do with relationships that you'd feel to talk about. All right. So
Absolutely.
Thank you once again for all of the listeners. Thank you. Blessings and love.
All right. Take care, guys. Thanks, Antoinette.
Thank you,
Mike.
Antoinette.
Thank
Right,
you,
Sonia.
Sonia, and all of those silent listeners. Until next week, God bless you, and we will catch you soon.
Definitely.